Aaron McClintock is a rider whose life on two wheels has taken him far beyond the physical act of riding. He's been part of some of the most creative and memorable moto films in recent years. But Aaron's journey isn't only about the highs. It's also marked by immense tragedy and hardship. Through loss and struggle, he's found a deeper outlook on life, one rooted in resilience, perspective, and a newfound sense of gratitude. His journey is a reminder that motorcycles are more than machines. They can be a lifeline, a way of processing the world, and a connection to something greater. In this conversation, we explore Aaron's story, his passion for riding, and the lessons he's carried through both joy and adversity. I'm so happy to introduce my friend, Aaron McClintock. Now let's dive in. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to talk about my absolute favorite gear brand. I got my first set of Fox gear when I was learning to ride in 1998. Not just because it looked cool, but because it meant something to me. That Fox head was more than just a logo. It was an identity. All these years later, I'm still wearing Fox, and it still means just as much. For 50 years, Fox Racing has been chasing the edge, pushing the limits of what's possible with moto gear. From past legends to the next generation of riders, Fox has never stopped evolving. And through it all, the mission has always stayed the same: build the most advanced gear on the planet for those bold enough to push beyond the limit. I've been part of this journey since I was a kid, and I'm proud to still fly the Fox head. Go check out the latest gear at foxracing.com. Welcome to Ride Beyond. This isn't just a podcast about motorcycles. It's a celebration of the passion, creativity, and untold stories of the people who ride them. I'm your host, Ben Giese, and I've spent the better part of my life on two wheels, traveling the globe and building relationships with some of the most talented and inspiring people out there, each one with a compelling story to tell. The motorcycle is our connection, but the stories, that's what takes us beyond. Yeah, dude, it's cool to have a chance to catch up with you. And kind of like we were talking about in the house, it's like kind of an excuse to, I don't know, catch up with friends in a different way.
Yeah.
That's maybe a little more in depth than just like hanging out. And it's cool, man. I've known you for a really long time now. Since
we were kids.
Seeing your life evolve over the years and like growing up racing in Colorado. Obviously you raced more RMXA
guy,
which was like the Rocky Mountain Motocross Association. And then I was in SRAC, which is confusing because they were both Colorado.
Yeah.
But like we never really raced with each other.
Not much, but I remember if there'd be like a state championship race or something, or District 25.
Yeah.
I don't remember if the D25s, were those combined? Like SRAC kids, I feel like would show up to those a lot.
Maybe, yeah.
But I remember if you and your brother would show up, I'd always be like a little more nervous because you guys are both always been super gnarly.
That's awesome. Thanks, dude.
But yeah, I just always seemed like the Springs kids, were the SRC group, which were always gnarly.
Yeah.
And then the Denver kind of more north was RMXA.
Yeah. We grew up in Castle Rock, so it's like kind of in the middle.
Okay. I thought you guys were Springs for some reason.
No, Castle Rock.
Yeah, dude, the racing growing up, I mean, I don't know. What was your experience like racing as a kid?
I mean, that was my whole life. I loved it personally. Growing up, like that was my entire life. And that's something I want to get in with you as well. Like, you've had this trajectory throughout your life from, I don't know what you were doing before racing, but eventually you fell into racing.
Yeah.
That became like a big passion of yours for a while. I think you stopped for a while, maybe came back, but over time, it seems like, I realized this when you and Dylan were doing these passion projects together. that motorcycling, like your dirt bike, means a lot more to you than just racing.
Yeah.
It's become like a place where you can really find like, presence and healing and identity, and it kind of grounds you in a way. Would you say that like when you're riding your dirt bike, is that a space where you feel most like yourself?
For sure. I had a weird lesson. I think this came from racing where, like, even say when I quit racing, I don't know why, for some reason, I loved riding growing up. The process of racing, even as a kid, I just didn't really enjoy for some reason. Even though as long as we did it, like, I love being competitive. I'm still competitive at the track. But for some reason, racing itself, I don't know why I struggled to like feel, have as much fun riding racing. I mean, looking back, like I think now with my mindset now, I could compete and race and enjoy it and have fun. But for some reason as a kid, I just think I had a lot of weird lessons to learn.
I also think like it's such a soulful practice to you to ride, and like racing is kind of the opposite. It's very competitive and
took me out of it.
regimented and
but what I think I learned when I just like, took a big break, we had just some crazy family stuff going on, when at the same time as me, it's like stepping away from racing. But when I tried to start racing again, I did have a weird kind of lesson that I realized, because I never stopped riding. I rode the whole time, like as much as when I was racing, 3-4 days a week or as much as possible. But when I tried to start racing again, I kind of, after a little bit of time, realized I was trying to, I feel like get something out of it. Like I was being kind of selfish with riding in general.
Like as far as like sponsorships or something, or like achievements,
I think like self-worth. Like I was searching for some kind of self-worth from, taking it from this thing that I just really, it's just there for me to kind of express who I am and enjoy. But like to me, I was like, dude,
putting self-worth on like how well you do and like how high you can go.
And no matter what, it kept kind of bite me in the ass where I would like feel let down. And so it was this vicious circle where I just, at some point, I was just like, dude, I gotta not like, I can't put my self-worth on dirt biking. That's not a healthy relationship.
Dude, and the thing about motocross is like, there's 40 dudes lining up on the gate and only one guy's going to win. So like, crazy. It's like a sport where you're mostly failing. Yeah. In a sense.
Absolutely. Like, it's true.
There's one winner and 39 losers. Yeah. And like most of the time in the sport, you're going to be disappointed, which really sucks because you put so much into it, like so much training and effort, and you're like literally risking your life.
Yeah. Literally.
To like try to win a race. Mm-hmm. And most of the time you don't.
And at every level, even at, at the local level, no matter what class you're riding, you're taking a really, really high risk every single time.
It's almost gnarlier at the local level because you're not even getting the support that the pros are getting. Like you're not getting paid to do this. Yeah. You're just like,
and dude, sometimes you go to local tracks. I mean, you got, local heroes everywhere that are like in every state that could be very competitive at a national level, but they're not racing for whatever reason. But, so even racing, like, the local pro class, I feel like in every state can be just insanely competitive and gnarly. And especially when dudes are, paying rent and everyone's trying to make money or you're scraping by to get there.
You're like
trying to break even,
risking it all. And then you got to go like work construction on Monday. It's like,
it's a wild life. I think it has just so many different angles you can look at it. My lessons personally though were just, I learned so many lessons from racing, but I think the biggest one was I just realized that like, kind of like I said, I can't like, count on riding to like make me happy because it's my favorite thing to do in the world. When I would do that, I would find myself my relationship with it would sometimes get disrupted. I have to like maintain this relationship, is where riding is kind of like a filter for my happiness that I need to figure out on my own. If that
kind of makes, I mean, it's kind of that way with anything in your life. Like,
yeah.
Even if you're in a relationship, you can't rely on that person to like make you happy, or
they'll
like,
let you down.
Yeah.
No one can give that to you.
You got to find that within yourself.
Yep. And then you offer that, whether it's relationship or your passion or whatever creative outlet, it's got to be like a mutual respect in that way, where you can't, expect. That's a lot to ask of something, whether it's an endeavor, a passion, or a person.
Well, it's not sustainable.
It's not, no. Yeah. So that, in that sense, I'm like, so grateful for the times I did compete. And like, I would love to even, I'm 35 now, like still do some, some kind of competition. I don't know in what form, but I think with the right mindset, I could absolutely like compete and have fun. But mainly with riding, I don't know if I'm going off topic from the original question, but
I mean, well, like, so you started out very competitive in racing. You kind of got burnt out, and then eventually came back. When did you discover like the love for riding, and like when did it become a vital part of your life?
Vital part. It was actually stepping away from it, because I just kept riding, and I just was having a blast riding with my friends. And I actually that's when we started taking trips to Grand Junction and doing a little more free riding. Because growing up, I would always my dad would take me to IMI. IMI is like a local track near Denver, all the time. And if I get my motos in, then my dad would be like, you can go, play ride for 30, 45 minutes in the back. And all I would do was go in the back and just look for little transfers and gaps. Even on 60s, I just would try to find like one little roller here. And if there's one further down, I would be like, try to make it to the next one or whatever, just try to get creative. And then, so during that break from racing, going to Grand Junction a few times and just not having any concern with getting back and racing or anything, I was like, dude, let's just go have fun out in the desert. And then I started finding gaps, and I feel like free riding is such a, at such a big level right now. It's so cool. I'm so happy to see that. But that was a long time before. That was, probably 15 to 20 years ago, I guess. I was in my teens. But hitting gaps out in Junction, and I just, dude, I did enjoy that a lot more.
I had the same experience. Growing up racing, I loved it. It was fun. It was a really enjoyable thing to do. But like when I would go out with my friends and we would just go play ride, like in the hills and like find jumps, and just like spend the evening like hitting stuff and like sessioning a jump or like cheering each other on or trying to do a whip. Dude, that I always remember being like, this is the most fun I have riding.
Even making a rut track, a corner track. Dude, I remember sometimes just with the homies, like we'll do that and, at Rampart, little like spots in the, we don't go into the places you're not supposed to ride. But like little spots in the parking lot or something, if the dirt's good, just making a rut track, I could do that for hours. It's the funnest stuff in the world. I would say during that time though is when, I don't know, I just had to rebuild my relationship with riding. Like I had to completely kind of break it because it wasn't working. Something wasn't working where I grew up loving up my bicycles. All I wanted was a dirt bike. The second my dad brought his dirt bike home and then he got me a PW, was just obsessed with it. And then somewhere,
you remember that like initially getting bikes, you fell in love with it right away.
Oh dude, right. And even my first time riding was at Thunder Valley. And I just whiskey throttled into the fence on my PW. Yeah. And then didn't touch my bike for like 3 months because I was terrified. And then got back into it. And that's all I wanted to do. I remember my dad getting so mad one time because we were driving out to Watkins. And I asked him just how long we had. And he was like, we're only going to have 2.5 hours or something. And so I threw like a little temper tantrum. And he was like, well, if you're going to be, a little punked, and he just left my bike in the back of the truck. I didn't get to ride at all. But I wanted to ride so bad that in my little brain, like 2.5 hours wasn't enough. So I was going to be a little baby about it. Yeah.
How was your dad growing up racing? Was he pretty, I know, like, I don't know your dad. Was he pretty intense? Because sometimes parents get really intense with racing because they have to invest so much and like, sacrifice so much. You don't really see that when you're a young kid.
No.
But like the moto dads get a little gnarly. Like, and sometimes that can burn you out as a kid, having that pressure.
Yeah, dude. I think we battled a little bit of that. But looking back when I did step away, I think there was a little bit of a window where, because me and my dad actually we're kind of like at each other's, necks a little bit toward the end, but I was an adult at that point, or almost an adult. And I think there was a time in my life where I was a little bit like, I thought maybe he was too hard on me. But I don't feel that way anymore. Like, looking back, I think he was just insanely supportive. He was never like crossed the line or anything. Dude, he had more of a football coach like mentality, because he played football in college and stuff. So he was just very methodical about, how many days we have to practice a week. He had like a plan every day at the track. We spent more time on corner tracks than the actual track. Like, getting to do laps on the big track was kind of usually a reward. Big track laps or play riding for, doing what he wanted me to do on the corner track.
Yeah. So jump for show, corner for dough.
Yeah, 100%. And he knew that, even though he was a football guy and he rode, he was good. He was more of just a sender, not so much into the technique, but he would always hit everything. He was wild. When he was riding.
He
rode, dude. He was, one time the big table, Big Al at Watkins, it's like 100-foot table. He would get, I hope he doesn't get offended, he would get passed by like his buddy who wouldn't hit many of the jumps, but he would hit everything. So he didn't corner that fast, but he just loved hitting the jumps. But he OJ'd the big table and endoed, like the most insane situation. And I remember 2 dudes, I was sitting at the truck, I think I was still on 60s, and 2 dudes were just walking him back. His bike was pretzeled.
Dude, I can't tell you how many people have like crashed so hard on that jump.
Dude, that jump is, like, and it's still there.
Like the Widowmaker.
Dude, it's a wild one. But yeah, he was more of just a sender. Like, it didn't develop, I don't think, the
Dude,
best
I think that
technique.
jump would be safer as a double because people wouldn't go for it.
Probably. Dude, I don't disagree with that at all. But yeah, when it came to him with racing, he was hard on me, but looking back, where there was a little bit of time when I quit, where I was like, man, like, maybe I put like a tiny bit of the blame on the way him and I were. But dude, as a group, like, there were just sacrifices I wasn't willing to make. Like I said, I didn't really always enjoy racing that much. No, dude, my dad he could not have been a better dad to support racing. And he bent over backwards. He just wanted the best for me and all of us, all of his kids. And same with my mom. Yeah, they were incredible. Like, never once did I personally face any kind of dysfunctional.
Yeah, that's good.
Parenting.
What was your life like after you stopped racing? Because during that window, you had this focus of like this thing you were working towards and kind of devoting all your energy to. How was your life structured during that time in between?
Dude, not that great, to be honest. I was a lost soul. Like,
really?
Yeah, I didn't know how to make money. So yeah, I worked like a lot of construction, some odd jobs and stuff.
Dude, that's kind of a big problem. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's
like,
fine.
In this sport, I feel like a lot of people, they put everything into it. And like, you get to a point where when you move on, you don't have any other skills or background because all you've done is ride dirt bikes.
Yep.
Especially these people who their plan is to go pro and make a living off this. And if that doesn't work out, or if they get injured and like they have nothing to fall back on, no skills, no resume, no
schooling,
no schooling.
Yep.
But anyways, continue. I was just thinking about how that's such a common.
It is. that's exactly what I fell into. I mean, like, I didn't really have many skill sets, or any really direction. I didn't have like, I wasn't financially responsible ever because, I mean, my parents were insanely supportive and, you know, took good care of us our whole life and stuff like that. We were very, very fortunate in that way. So yeah, at the same time of like kind of becoming an adult and then facing exactly that of like, oh shit, like I don't know what I don't know what to do. Yeah, I think it just took a lot of I would say too, strangely, that's when I like felt like I had my back up against the wall. And started like seeking out some more like kind of spiritual um, you know, perspectives towards life because I kind of had to. Like I was so lost and um,
What do you mean by you were lost?
dude, I just had no direction. Like I felt like I was um just floating and like just scraping and bouncing around and like kind of hanging out with friends and like partying a little bit. I just didn't have any direction. So that's one thing too, like, the caveat, like racing can offer at the very, if you stick with it,
It gives you direction.
Keeps you
I always
on.
say that, like,
Yeah.
for me, like, even though I didn't go that far with it, like I didn't, make a living off of riding, but like it gave me direction through high school
Absolutely.
and like kept me out of trouble.
Mhm.
And like, I wasn't partying. I wasn't getting into the wrong crowd because I was kind of focused on this thing that I was working
Yeah.
towards. And I'm
Yeah.
super thankful for that it, even though I couldn't make it, I wasn't good enough to make it like a career. It was like, it kept me on the straight and narrow, which is kind of cool.
Yep. Keeps you showing up.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. That's, I think, one of the greatest things that racing or when you're, dedicated to something that it can give you, like having something to show up for every day is really important. But so over time though, after like with kind of that break, I still kept riding. And like I said, just kind of floating and confused. I did fall in love with, running. I got like really, really into running, and did a bit of competing, but that became, I would say, even when I said like kind of spiritual stuff, like probably my main practice for my mental stability. And then also, kind of like a meditation for me. So running became a big part of my life. And then, I got introduced into the work that I do now from my brother, which is, parachute rigging for the military. And that helped me a lot because, being around, these military guys is really cool. They're inspiring dudes.
You're packing the parachutes?
Yep, packing the parachutes for them and keeping them in the sky while they're, doing their training courses.
That's probably a pretty high pressure job because you have to give it 100% focus because like if you make one wrong fold, you could kill someone.
Yeah. Yep. There are certain steps that you absolutely have to be done right for sure. And it works. I have a pretty OCD brain, so it works really well for me though, because everything's got to be symmetrical and
it's probably cool. You can like really just
yeah.
get into the zone.
Oh, dude,
with your work, and you're just really focused, and you're.
Yep.
It's like an art form almost because you have to do this thing perfectly, and like you just know the process so well, and it's just kind of rinse and repeat. But like
it is, yeah.
You can't let your guard down and like miss something.
No, you can't. Yeah,
kind of like riding in that way,
It is. Yeah, if you do, yeah, like I said, let your guard down. It could bite you real quick, or being the one packing the parachute bite someone else. Which it's just not an option. You just can't do that. But so that helped me when I fell into that line of work, and it's still what I'm doing, and I love it. That helped me at least kind of get a more stable foundation going, just even like financially and stuff. Yeah. And then just, I don't know, I guess just kind of, just.
You fell in love with riding again, just through taking away the pressure.
Yep.
Enjoying free riding with your friends, hitting jumps. And now it's become kind of this vessel for you to like express yourself. I
That
feel like, I don't know, what does writing mean to you now? Not just as like a hobby, but like as part of who you are.
well, that's all it is. It's like a vessel to express yourself. It's, in my opinion, like perfectly said. I know the way that I ride too. And I was even like this when I was young growing up, but it's very like feeling based. Like to me versus even just trying to go faster. Like if I'm at a track, hit the fastest line. I just want to like hit the line or hit the jump, however it feels good. And whatever that is to me, you know what I mean? Like what feels good to me, it's it's gonna be different for other people, for everybody. That's the beauty of it. Like,
I know exactly what you mean.
yeah. So to me, it's just that. Yeah. It's this thing that I have done my whole life and, I'm able to do it at a decent level. And so I think you can experience really high levels of, that flow state gets used a lot, but, it helps a lot. I think when you're, good at your craft, like you can access that at a deeper level a lot. And writing is the thing, of course, that I, have done more than anything else. So yeah.
When you kind of said something like it's more of a feeling thing.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like that's almost like a meditative state. Cause a lot of people will close their eyes and go into their body and like just feel and like, be present with like your physical experience.
Yep.
And I feel like writing is almost a way where you shut off thought and like noise from the outside world and you're just pure feeling.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
And you're kind of like, you can never be more present. And it's something that people chase so hard.
Uh-huh.
And we have this tool where we can just like access that.
Dude, it's such a like cool, like badass, beautiful way to do it too on a dirt bike. But that's my philosophy too. Like, dude, if I'm thinking, I'm not there. Like I'm not, you have to like strangely shut off your thoughts.
Do you ever find your mind wandering when you're writing? Like sometimes. Like you'll be thinking about something super random and you're like, wait, this is so weird. I'm thinking about this right now as I'm like going through this rut.
Yeah. And you're like, I don't even remember doing that whole lap. Like that was great. What just happened?
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's really nice then when you can get into that zone and like shut that all off. But it is kind of funny. I catch myself sometimes like I'll be riding out a rampart or something. And I'm just like thinking about other things.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like dodging trees and jumping logs and like, but my mind's like thinking about like this thing at work or like this person I talked to or this conversation I had.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you're still blurping around and getting like funky and bouncy and stuff. Yeah.
But it's nice then when you can shut that off.
Yeah. There's that line, I think it was Ayrton Senna where he talks about when you get in that moment, he's like, it's like Dylan Wine is actually the one who pointed this quote out to me. It's like the ground is coming up to meet you. And it's a lot to like think about. And I don't even know if I fully grasp that, but to me it is.
I think what he's saying is like, it's just coming to you. It's effortless.
Everything. Yeah. And everything, it's like you're going so fast when it comes to motorsports, but everything's moving actually quite slow. It's wild. And then to me, thinking of that, it's more just, it's an energy thing. And so the energy of everything is cooperating. Like dude, that actually brings me to another point when I was thinking about, kind of coming into this podcast and even now like with writing, my biggest theme, I would say in the last couple of years, especially through a couple of particular challenges, has been just living with as least resistance as possible. And so I think that even applies to kind of like when you find yourself getting in that, that unique place where everything shuts off and you're just in it. You're just there, and that's where the magic happens. Like when you're not seeking for anything, you're not forcing anything. Just this whole approach of no resistance. As they are. Yeah, like it's
almost like you're in the ocean. Like let the wave come to you and ride the wave for what it is.
Yep. Yeah, you're in full cooperation with whether it's the environment, the life. You're cooperating. You're not like whatever the circumstances or whatever you're doing. Or if you're in a challenge, especially, I think that's when it's most important, when you're like testing that way, is to not fight it. You know, it doesn't mean that if you're getting challenged with something, it doesn't mean it won't still suck or be hard, but don't fight, like, you know, don't fight what's happening. And so same with writing, like you can, and I've done this when I'm in like when I'm not taking care of my own like mental state, where I'll get on the bike and it, you know, I'm sure you know what it feels like. Obviously, it feels like you're fighting it. It's just like, dude, why can't I, like, it's kind of paradoxical. It's like, you just let it go, and then like, it'll come to you. The feeling will come to you.
That's kind of life too.
Yeah.
It's almost like the more you grasp on and try to force things, like the harder it is.
The harder it is. Yeah.
The more you're willing to like let things come and be what they are and work with what's happening in the moment. Like things happen naturally. And like, you know, you have to do the work, of course, and like make the right decisions, but like trying to control every aspect of something, like it never works.
And that's like, that's when it feels like you're losing control the most, is when you're trying to control. Yeah. Like life is just full of paradoxes like that. But that whole like resistance is persistence too. You know, when you're fighting something, you're like holding it in place. You're like blocking any kind of solution from finding you, because you're locked up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And that whole same thing, like, I mean, the magic happens when you're not looking for it. You know, that's the magic of it.
Yeah.
Like, I know that when it comes to like, you know, film projects with Dylan and Connor, that's been one of the most apparent places where we've seen that happen, where we have this vision or a particular shot or something. It's cool now. I think we kind of learned this lesson pretty early on, and now we're pretty good at catching ourselves when we start getting stuck and holding, like grasping onto something.
To control too much.
Yeah. So the first couple projects, we'd be in these situations where something just goes ass backwards or completely wrong, or we forget something, and you're like, "Oh, dude, everything's ruined," or whatever. Like, it's a waste of the day. Or weather's a big one too, when you're out in the desert or something that you got to fight, wind. But somewhere over the years, there were a handful of projects early on, especially like one of ours is Drifting Up, where this bridge shot didn't work. And we spent the whole morning. We only had a couple days to film, and we drove all the way to Oregon. There was too many cars. We couldn't get me riding across this bridge with the drone. And so then we ended up like, well, that's the whole morning's wasted. We just lost one sunrise to shoot at. So we went to this little cafe in Coos Bay. And then the waitress, she was so freaking cool. We kind of told her what was going on, and we were discouraged. And she was like, "Why don't you guys go down like this little dirt road down the way?" And we went, and it took us to this private beach that was just wide open. And then for me, one of my favorite experiences I've ever had riding was just, we're like, dude, let's shoot on this beach. It was all misty. And so we're just going like 60 miles an hour up and down the beach, and I'm riding, you know, like dipping the bike in the ocean and stuff. But to me, that was the perfect example of, you know, it didn't work, but we didn't get desperate and cling on. We're like, well, let's try it again tomorrow. And the next day we would have probably shot out the whole trip, like, or blown the whole trip. But instead, we're like, nope, let's just see where it goes. And it ended up that those shots were 10 times cooler than
the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah. They're way better than the bridge shot ever would have been.
And I mean, that's life, dude. And things never go how you envision them, like in your head. You have this like fantasy vision of like how things are going to happen, and it never works out that way. And you have to kind of roll with it and like make the best of it. And usually it ends up being better than what you even thought. But like,
absolutely.
Trying to control every aspect of how something goes, it just doesn't work. So you have to let it happen, and, you know, have an idea of what you want and work towards it. And then when inevitably something changes along the way, or a speed bump comes up, because it always will. Like, I've learned this, like, whether it's work or just life, like everything, all the plans you make don't go as planned.
No.
So
That's true.
it literally never.
Uh,
Like it just never works
nope.
like you thought it would in your head. So you have to be willing to like be flexible with things and let things change as they
Yeah.
naturally will, and adapt, and let it lead to better things. I want to give a shout out to a really special partner of mine. I've been working with 805 Beer for close to a decade now. And honestly, it's more than just a beverage company to me. It's a symbol of a lifestyle that I believe in. 805 was born on the central coast of California, the 805, a place where life moves to the rhythm of surf, moto, music, and open roads. Whether you're out riding, jamming with friends, or just soaking in the last light of the day, 805 is right there with you. It's not about hype, it's about living fully and embracing every moment. But what makes 805 truly special is their commitment to sustainability. They've been brewing for generations and relentlessly focused on preserving the land that they call home, conserving water, reducing waste, and protecting what matters, the land where we live and play. They support the raddest events and the sickest athletes. But most importantly, they support the culture. That's why 805 has become a staple in my life. Yeah, just being willing to like adapt as things change.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
You know?
And with that approach too, you kind of, you protect your space a little bit, like, you're not fighting fire with fire, like, cause it's never going to work. You can just kind of hold your frame and not be so affected or, by the outside world. That's a superpower. Like if you can, cause like life's always going to throw challenges at you, but if you can, not react, I guess, or overreact, or just, that's a superpower.
Yeah.
And then too, like, I'm a big Eckhart Tolle guy. And then there's one of his quotes where I think he says, the way you react to a situation, determines the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So not that you like have so much control over the future, but, I think you do in a sense also have control over, like, just on the way you handle every situation is going to determine the way it unfolds in some sense.
That's literally going to determine the quality of your entire life.
Yeah.
Because, no matter how good or bad things are going, like things are always going to go up and down, but like how you perceive them and react to them is like, that's your experience of life. So like you could be very well off and like doing well, very comfortable in the 1% of the population, but you could be looking at someone else that's doing better than you and not feel good enough and be miserable with where you're at. Or you could be, poor with nothing and thankful for what you have and happy, or when things go wrong in life, you could be depressed and feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah.
Or you can take it as a lesson on how to like move forward in a better way.
Yeah.
Like it's all in your perception. Like, cause we're all going to have good things that happen and really bad things that happen.
Yeah.
And the quality of our life is how we perceive that.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Your attitude toward every situation will determine the way you experience it. Like 100%. Like I've learned that the hard way. No doubt about that. Just with like big challenges that I've had, of like, for me being like really hard on myself with it, where I'm like, dude, this challenge is already hard enough. You don't need to beat the shit out of yourself on top of what's already happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I were to get like, say with my leg, for example, I was so hard on myself with why I did it to myself and, not
just making the mistake.
Yeah. I was just, why did you have to go hit that jump that day? I was alone. Like, why did you have to go do that? Or was it ego? And I'm already sitting there, I can't, I couldn't walk for almost a year. And so I'm sitting there just like,
You were alone?
I was alone when I crashed. Yeah. Cause I felt so confident in the jump. It's a big jump, but like I was just super confident
Where was it?
at the Canebill.
You were by yourself out there?
Well, I was with a really good group of people. That Dust to Dust event.
Not really.
I think it's a newer event. It's just happened, I think a couple or 2-3 years. But I went out to go hang out with that group, and like they're all such awesome people. And they were insanely helpful when I crashed. But so everyone was kind of getting up in the morning and getting going. And I drove out there because certain gaps that I've hit, I like to know that I'm still riding at, like my highest level for me, what I perceive that to be. So driving out there, I knew that was a big one that I had hit a year prior, shooting one of our projects. And so I planned on hitting it that morning. I was like, all right, I'm going to go hit, this particular double when I wake up. I probably should have got a little more warmed up, but I already ran it through my head the whole drive out there. I fell asleep thinking about it. I went to bed early. Like I was the 2 days before.
Which jump was it? Would I know? Is it like a
you would know,
common one?
It's right when you drive in the main entrance. There's the big wall, that stunning wall that, has been shot a lot. And if you can see the wall from the jump. It's just these two hills, and you can hit it at an angle.
To the left, like when you're driving in, is it on the left side over there?
When you're driving in the main one, so it's actually will be on the right.
On the right side of that wall?
But further closer to the road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In that first little section, that first little zone with all those hills and stuff.
Yep. You would for sure, if you drove it, you'd be like, oh shit. Like, yeah. But it's just peaky and it's long. And when I went back though, the year prior, like I hit it in our film Enso, I hit it probably 10, 15 times, and it's in the video. But when I went back, I tried to catch a bigger part of the landing. So it made the gap bigger. And I mistimed it by probably 5 feet. But I was just, again, though, I was so confident. I ran it over in my brain so much, like going out there. So I just wanted to go get it out of the way. I should have got more warmed up, like for sure. But I don't, as time went on, I don't beat myself up anymore about going for it, because I was just like, I just was doing what I like to do. Yeah. Like
you just came up short and your leg snapped?
Yep, dude, my tib and fib, my lower tib and fib disintegrated. It's called a pylon fracture, which happens in car crashes a lot, like a head-on collision where your feet jam into the front. But yeah, so the way the landing is kind of shaped, kind of angles down to the left, and it's sharp. Like it's got a sharp knuckle, which that's what got me. And then it's shaped down. So the way it was shaped though, just the whole impact went on my right peg up my right leg. But dude, the front of my bike was fine, but I blew out my wheel, blew out my subframe, and then the bike just blew out from underneath me. And then I rolled it out and I went and tried to stand up, and then my leg was just mashed potatoes. And then like I had thought about that so many times with, riding out in the desert. I'm sure you have too. You've ridden out there a bunch in Ocotillo and stuff. I was like, dude, to get a serious injury out here would be a problem.
If you didn't have those people out there, you'd be screwed, because there's no cell service. You're like so remote. There's a lot of times nobody out there.
If I would have actually been alone, I would have died out there. I would not have been able to get anywhere.
You don't think you would have got back on your bike or been able to get to your truck?
My bike was in shambles. I was too far from my truck to crawl back. I had too much like adrenaline, like spiking through me. This, kind of, like panic. I stayed really calm the whole time, but like, I don't think I would have. I think the amount of like trauma happening in my leg and my body would have, I think I would have gave out. Shock. Yeah. Like, yeah, 100%. So thank God. And I was, laying there, and I have never had, knock on wood, but before that, like a massive injury. I've had, dislocated shoulders and collarbones and like tweaked knees and stuff, but nothing serious ever in my life. I've been so fortunate. So yeah, it was wild, like sitting there. And then I started to realize a little bit, I was like, fuck, something's really, really wrong. And then so people came up on a side by side, thank God, after probably like 10, 15 minutes of me laying out there, just kind of like processing what was going on. Yeah, and I kind of knew it was serious at that point, and so we get
What did it
back.
feel like? Did you feel it at first, or did the pain set in later?
Nope, I had no pain. My shoulder was like severely dislocated, like probably the worst that's ever dislocated. And I mean, if you've ever dislocated like big joints, it's so painful. So the pain of that was actually overriding my leg, but I just knew that my leg was, I was scared to like, open up my boot because I was like, dude, my leg is exploded. I'm certain of it. So either way, the guys picked me up. The pain on my shoulder though, it's almost probably kind of a blessing, was like overriding my leg. And usually I can pop my shoulder back in, but it was so dislocated, I couldn't get it. So I'm laying there with my leg, my shoulder's out. I couldn't get it in. So they load me up. And then one of the dudes in the Dust to Dust crew had to hop on his bike and rip, I don't know how far, like out to the road, down the road to get service. 'Cause I knew, I was like, I need an ambulance. I need to get to a hospital immediately. And so he's able to get a hold of an ambulance. Dude, it probably took like an hour for an ambulance to get there.
Yeah.
I still couldn't get my shoulder in. So I was just waiting in so much pain for so long. I didn't want to like undo my boot because I was worried that I would open something up and caught, that couldn't be fixed. Yeah.
That's like a brace in itself.
Yeah.
Just leave it on.
Holding it
I
together.
don't even know how you would get it off if you did. Like,
dude, I can't imagine like if I would have tried to get it off awake
it would have
on
been
my
worse.
own, I would have fainted. I just would have.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have handled the pain. So then the ambulance showed up. They started looking me over. They thought I had a broken back. They thought I had internal bleeding. They couldn't get my shoulder in. They knew my leg was obliterated. So they were like, I mean, I think they were trying to like not scare me. They were being cool, but like I knew what they were saying because they would come and like see me and then go back and start like whispering each other and like,
you might die.
Yeah. And then they were like, he needs a helicopter ASAP. And when I heard him say that, I was like, yeah, I would like a helicopter. That'd be great. Like I'm starting to, this shit's real. So then I took the helicopter like 45 minutes. Yeah, the helicopter got to do it. It was just so
Were
crazy.
they just there monitoring you in the meantime, making sure your pulse was still?
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Not much they could do.
Yep, pretty much. And then then the helicopter got there, and then they were finally able to get an IV in me. They took them like 10 tries to get an IV in. And then so the helicopter got there and got me all ready to go. And it sucked too because I didn't know a lot of the Dust to Dust guys that well. But I had Roman with me, my dog. But like, thank God, my buddy Bjorn and then some of our other friends, they took care of Roman. And then they reached out to Dylan. They're like, Aaron's getting, airlifted out of here. And Dylan and his girlfriend Sam dropped what they were doing and went and got Roman in my truck. And just so grateful for all them doing that. But so yeah, when they're taking me to the helicopter, dude, they again just realized how serious everything was, started pumping me up with so much ketamine. I went into what I'm pretty sure is called a K-hole. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's like just a heavy dose of ketamine. Dude, it was just a full-blown out-of-body experience. Like, I thought I was in the helicopter, and the way they had me in the helicopter, the roof was like this close to my head, and the pain was setting in everywhere. So I even kept like nudging the nurse like for more hits of the ketamine. It was not knowing kind of I've never done ketamine. And then, yeah, dude, I just like blasted off into another world. And I was totally, and it sounds crazy, but like out of body experience, like looking at my life. I felt like I had this moment where I was like, dude, fuck, is this my day? Is this happening right now? Like,
that sounds like a near death experience.
It was like, I'm almost certain it was, because I felt like I could look at my whole life like a VHS tape. I could just pick these moments, like I'd feel like the melancholy of it. And I mean, the main thing too that came to me, it was like, I really, really wanted to see my dog Roman. I mean, he's a limb to me. I was just like, I miss Roman already. And then, my parents and loved ones. I didn't want I wanted to see my family again. Like it was just that simple. Like I did not.
It's not my time.
Yeah, I did not want to go. Like I was in that moment though. I was like, if this is it, it's it. I didn't feel like.
Did you feel like in that moment you had a choice to like let go or stay?
Maybe. And I wanted to stay.
Yeah.
I really wanted to stay. And so I'm glad all this is coming up actually. That's another thing I thought would be worth talking about, which I might get into. If you don't mind, I might just like finish this little hospital story.
Talk about, yeah, definitely.
Just one of the main lessons I learned, like with my leg and that whole situation. But yeah, so I was in the helicopter just kind of wondering, and I realized like how much I wanted to be alive. I was like, dude, I do not want life to be over yet. Like, eventually it's going to be over for all, like, I mean, I don't know if it's over or whatever's next, but it just made me really, really realize how much I enjoyed living, like being a human, living this whole experience. Like I wanted it to keep going. I didn't want it to be over.
Did you have any sense of maybe what comes next in that experience?
I felt again though, as much as that I felt sad if it was gonna be the end, I did feel very peaceful.
That's what I've heard from a lot of people.
Peaceful. Yeah. Like, and I did feel, a weird kind of like fulfillment, like
it's gonna be okay.
I felt very okay. I did not feel like, that things. Yeah, just that. It felt okay.
Didn't feel fear.
No, I didn't feel fear. I think I just felt like
not yet.
Sad. Yeah. I was just like, man, I don't want to, like, I want to see my family again. I want to hang out with Roman, and like, it was just that, like, I don't want this to be it. But yeah, it was still peaceful at the same time. But so then, so I pretty much checked out though eventually, and we landed at the hospital, and they're like, I kind of just vaguely remember, because I was still in the whole K-hole thing, just being in this room, and they're taking off all my gear and everything. And then, I just checked out, and then I woke up with my leg all wrapped up and my shoulder in, and then that whole journey started.
And they put an external fixator on it.
Yep.
You dealt with infections.
Yep.
It's a long journey, dude.
So the pylon fracture, I think I sidetracked after that, but yeah, so my whole ankle was shattered into a bajillion pieces, and then the pylon fracture just meant like the impact was so hard, my tib and fib just jammed into my ankle and disintegrated, the lower part of my tib and fib. So I have a cadaver on my tib and fib. And then after, I think it was month 6 of still not a single day walking, I thank God for my mom. She was an absolute saint while I was healing. I had to move in with her. And she took care of me the whole time. It was wild. But yeah, so it was like 6 months in, then I got like a really bad case of staph. So then I had to go on a PICC line and do that whole thing.
So scary.
Yeah, that was scary too.
That can catch up with you quick.
Yeah, dude, that was the same. That was exactly it. I was waking up from like my 6th surgery, and then to a bunch
surgery.
Yeah, it was a lot, and all just rebuilding my ankle and my tib and fib.
I want to give a shout out to my amazing sponsor, Rider Justice. There's a lot stacked against us as riders. The unpredictable things that can happen out on the road, and there's a general negative perception of motorcyclists in the courts when something unfortunate happens. Thankfully, there's someone out there who's been fighting for us, like really fighting for over 25 years, and that's Scott O'Sullivan of Rider Justice. Scott is not just a lawyer, he's an advocate for riders. The kind who shows up to rallies, sits on nonprofit boards, gives free legal advice to riders in need, and truly fights for our rights. He launched Rider Justice to stand up for all of us, on the road, in the courtroom, and in our culture. If you've been hurt in a crash, if you've lost someone, or if you just want to know your rights as a rider, go to riderjustice.com. It's kind of messed up that like this thing that provides you so much value in your life, and it's like something you would never trade for anything can bite you in the ass so hard.
It's so weird.
It's like the things you love most in your life can bring you the most pain.
Yeah, it's almost like this, you make yourself vulnerable to the things that you love the most. You give yourself over to it, and so those things do kind of like have this power in that way to do that. It is such a ship though, and the weird part too is that the biggest loss for me with it was like I said with running. Like running was my world. I loved running as much as riding, and unless there's some kind of crazy technology with ankle replacement someday. My leg's an inch shorter. My ankle's fused. I'll
It's an inch
right
shorter.
now it's an inch shorter. Yeah.
Does that cause you pain in like other parts of your body just from like the way you walk, or can you
Well,
get custom shoes?
I
or
got
anything?
custom shoes. Yeah. These crazy shoes that are built
Platforms.
up. Yeah. Platforms, full blown, just on my right side. And I'm still in pain every day, like physical pain every day. I just live with it. But that's the thing though, is like I spent a whole year not walking for the most part. And then even a certain window, right? I didn't know if I was going to keep my leg. I was full blown preparing to be an amputee, which I still would have made the best of. And even still, if it doesn't get, if the pain gets worse, like with the arthritis and stuff, I mean, I would consider like, the amputee life down the road, maybe. Not right
than just
now.
being in pain every day. But then there's phantom pains.
What is that?
You've never heard of phantom pains?
Uh-uh.
A lot of people who lose limbs, they feel phantom pains, like in their limb that they don't have.
That's
and it's
crazy.
Like it feels like your leg is on fire, but you don't even have a leg.
I have never heard of that.
Yeah,
that is wild.
Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, like people that have gone to war and got an arm blown off.
Yeah,
they feel the pain in their arm, and they don't even have an arm.
Wow.
And it's like endless. I mean, maybe eventually it fades away. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like that's a thing too. So
I believe that. I believe that could be a thing.
Pretty heavy.
It is heavy. But so I guess when it comes to the pain now though, like I rarely have, back to kind of the attitude thing, I rarely have a bad attitude toward it because I just spent a full year, like, especially in the summer. I remember just laying in my mom's, extra bedroom, and just like the perfect sun. I'd hear like kids playing outside, and because she lives in like a nice little suburban neighborhood, and I couldn't go out there. I was on some of the drugs I was on. I couldn't be in the sun because it would create this crazy like rash on my whole body. So I couldn't even go out. So I was a vampire. I was losing so much weight. The painkillers were turning me into like a vampire but I had to take them. Like the pain was so bad for a while I was healing with all the surgeries. Like, thank God they were there when they were there, but God damn, dude, the painkillers.
Were you able to get off of the painkillers pretty easily?
As soon as possible. Like as soon as I didn't need them.
Some people struggle with that.
I had moments. I'm getting off them sucks. Like, dude, 3 days of, like if you go cold turkey, like to me, it was just 3 days.
Full withdrawals.
Sucks ass. Yeah. You're just sitting there like restless legs. But to me, I wanted to have my clear head back more than that. Never
so smart.
Feel that. Yeah, dude, that shit turns you into a zombie.
Yeah, and they go down the wrong path, start chasing that with other drugs, and then it becomes a whole.
And I understand it. Like I got no judgment toward that because that dude, the one I took the most, dude, there was a time where I was taking, I think, every 4 hours. And because some of the surgeries, like one of them, they had to close it back up because everything swelled up too much before. And dude, the surgeon that did all my surgeries, Dr. Grimsrud, she was just a saint. I'm like so grateful for her. I think she saved my leg, my ankle. I mean, I could not imagine being in better hands. But one of them, I think it was between surgeries 4 and 5 or 3 and 4. She had to close up my leg because everything swelled up without doing anything. So all the shattered bones were just grinding for like a week straight. So like during that time, I was taking oxycodone, tramadol, and some other hard one. Dude, all of them, along with like 4 Advil at a time every 4 hours. Dude,
it's not good
insane.
For you long term, but you gotta do what you gotta do to
get through that moment. Yeah, but so I can see though, because that little moment of relief or the high that it gives you, I could see how someone could get stuck on it. It makes you feel like a superhero. It's crazy.
You understand like people that are maybe even struggling with anxiety. It's like a sense of relief.
Yeah.
Yeah. So gnarly.
But getting out of it, it's crazy. Like, when you finally get your head clear and look back and, because what that does too is it really messes with your ability to generate natural dopamine. Like if you're just constantly taking something.
So you're probably like a little bit down for a while.
Absolutely. Dude, your brain chemistry, like you've like a life feels very bleak. You're like super duper just like, what the like, just
It's
bleak.
messed up.
Yeah, because you just spent however long you were on the drugs or whatever it was, using that for your dopamine, and then also if the relief of your
Well,
pain.
naturally, your body, like, you're getting flooded with so much of it, your body
Yeah.
starts shutting down those receptors because it's like, this is too much, and then
Yep.
your natural level
Yeah.
becomes like
Your
dull.
your set point just
Yeah.
drops, like your normal set point. And so that is the thing though. Once I could move my leg to like, I felt like that really balanced out my brain chemistry or normal dopamine levels back. Yeah, was working out. Like I couldn't run anymore, but dude, the second I could start doing anything, I got a mountain bike, and I would just go to Green Mountain, and I couldn't do anything with bumps or anything, but I would just ride up that steep hill that they have there. It's right across from Thunder
I
Valley.
love that trail. I used to ride that all the
Yeah.
time when I lived in Denver.
Yep, dude, that trail brought me back
So
to
fun.
life on a mountain bike, because that's the thing too I learned with injuries or life in general, dude, just how important blood flow is. Like even if you're not dealing with an injury, like when you're working out your heart, like spiking your heart rate, and that's pumping blood to your brain, your body.
It's so good for you.
So good for you.
Mentally and physically.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like, things like mountain biking and, dirt biking, these have been very much tools for healing for you.
Oh my
And,
God. Yeah.
Dude, you've gone through so many challenging things in the last few years. And the worst thing, I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but, losing Chelsea.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see that you're in a relationship now, though. I'm really happy for you, man.
Oh,
It's great to
dude.
see, but I hope it's not awkward to talk about. But
No, not at all.
I know. Do you want to talk about Chelsea a little bit and what that period of life meant to you?
Oh, dude. The time I, got to spend with her was, I'll always cherish that forever. And everyone that knew her would say the same thing. She was a very, very bright light.
Dude, I wish I could have met her. She seems so cool.
I wish you could have too. She was very cool. Her leaving, a lot of people, the whole world, lost a very special, beautiful soul. But yeah, I, when it comes to talking about that situation, it was so hard in the moment. And
What happened?
What happened to her?
Yeah.
She had a, it's still a little mysterious to me exactly how, but she had a sudden brain aneurysm, and I was out of town. I was out of town working for the week, so it was one of those situations too where I just left. Like, all right, be back on Friday. Love you. And then I get a phone call. I get a text from her brother, and then a phone call from her dad Thursday night, the day before I was coming home, and they're just like, Chelsea's in the hospital. And it was at like midnight. So I was like, wait, what? I couldn't even process. So what are you telling me? I don't understand. And, it was her brother that was pretty straightforward. He was like, the doctor doesn't know if she's going to make it. And I was like, what are you saying to me?
Doesn't even make sense.
She's not going to make it? I was just home 4 days ago. Like we were just having lunch together before I went to the airport. Like, what are you talking about? And then, so either way, I dropped everything and went straight to the airport and got home. And, dude, I couldn't even, I was just, in tears the whole plane ride, trying to process what the fuck was it didn't feel real at all, like at all. And then I get off the plane, but there was still just this little part of me, like holding on to this little glimmer of hope that
She'll be fine.
Yeah, she'll be all right. Like, I didn't even really know what a brain aneurysm was at that point.
Can you explain what it is?
Dude, I think it's some kind of
blood vessel that or it's like a blockage or a clot, and then the
bursts?
Blood vessel swells until it bursts.
Something like that, I think. I'm not exactly sure, honestly, but I think in a lot of cases it causes a lot of neurological damage. That's what happened to her. And so I get off the plane and immediately call her brother. Just same thing, like just this glimmer of hope. And he was like, hey, Aaron, like you do need to know, like, you're coming here to say bye to her. Like,
she wasn't gone yet. She was just kind of on life support.
Yep.
Like in a coma or something, or like just unconscious.
totally unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he just basically, he would just straight up, he was like, you know, you're here to say bye. Like, I'm so sorry. And yeah, and then so just went and they, you know, I shouldn't go like into too many details, but you know, a lot of her loved ones were able to come and, you know, see her. She wasn't awake for it, but see her, and, you know, the amount of love that came to that hospital and people
Just shock,
for her.
dude.
Yeah.
Shock for everyone.
Yeah, it was. But you know, she left this just beautiful mark in the world. I know that everyone that knew her lives differently, and you know, because of how she lived, she was such a free spirit and so unique, and so like, dude, she made everyone laugh and made, you know, brighten up the room everywhere she went. So, yeah, when it happened though, it just didn't feel real. And like, you know, when it comes to like my personal experience of that,
Probably still doesn't feel real, honestly. Like,
no, you know, it's so weird. Like I don't sit here and ever like, you know, feel like deep pain or grief. But yeah, sometimes like when I do think about it, and yeah, it's still hard to wrap my head around that she's just, you know, like she's physically not here.
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I mean, I believe that, you know, nobody ever dies. Like I think really we're all energy. Like, you know, our bodies have a time limit, or something happens and you transition, or you know, you're not in the human form anymore. But like I do believe that
We're like a vessel.
yeah, we're all over energy. I mean, we're all energy and spirits, whatever you want to think about it. And you know, I think if you're someone that leaves early and people feel a lot of grief that you had to leave early, I do feel like those people become a guardian angel in some way.
Mm-hmm.
They take care of,
You
look
think
out
that
for the
energy
people.
kind of sticks around?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but grief is a motherfucker, like, especially at that level.
Those early days must have just been like,
Dude, the first, I mean, like 6 months, like, it just swallows. Like, to me, it was just a void. Like, I had to get myself to work. Thank God we were able to like, shoot like a video project.
I'm sure you imagined, like, you were at that point, you imagined spending your life with her, probably.
Yeah,
You know,
I
because
did.
you guys
Yeah,
had your little family, you had like your pets and your animals, and like
it was a beautiful lot. Yeah,
you guys were living together, doing life together, and then overnight, that's gone.
Yep. Yeah, it was just overnight. You know, I couldn't stay in the house either. It was just, the house was just filled with memories, and
Dude, that must have been hard too. Just like moving stuff, and like,
dude,
what did you do with all of her stuff? Did you keep stuff or give stuff to her family, or?
Yeah, between the family, I got, you know, certain things like memories of ours, and yeah, and then you know, it was her family's house, so it's a lot of like her family stuff there, but yeah, even just grabbing my stuff out of the house was like I couldn't believe, you know, I was there Sunday, and then all of a sudden, you know, the following, you know, week after all that happened, I'm in the house, like, you know, grabbing stuff, you know, and she doesn't even exist anymore. And I'm grabbing my stuff. It was just, it's just such a trip. Yeah, dude, it was such a trip.
Really hard for a long time.
Yeah, I would say like the grief and like, to me, just the confusion. I would just so many times be like, I don't understand.
You can't accept it.
Yeah, I was like, how? I don't understand. I just could not understand it. And I had to snap myself out of like I call it a void of this. It was really like a scary place where just even like existence didn't make sense to me. Like I would start to like think about everything,
like,
and how
what's
she's
the
gone.
point if we're just gone?
Yeah, and it would swallow me up. But you have to like, you have to channel your energy toward like things that you love. Like to me, like my animals.
Mm-hmm. You still have, you know, the birds, right? I heard
have
them in
birds.
your house.
Yeah.
It's kind of probably, those birds are probably pretty special now. It's like,
yeah, absolutely.
It's like a part of hers is still with you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. I feel like, yeah, there's these little kind of relics of a beautiful time, and she kind of, yeah, and she was actually like, yeah, she was a bird person, so she was really close to those birds. So yeah, they absolutely are. But over time, um, you learn to live with it. Like, I don't think you ever just like heal or get better, or like, to me, just over time, you just learn
You
to
learn
be
to
okay
accept
with
it.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not happy about it. It's
Yeah.
always going to be painful.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. It's like the worst possible thing ever. It is what it is, and like
Yeah.
you can't change it.
Yeah.
It's not cool, but you have to accept it and
Yeah.
move on and
Back.
live your life. Because I mean, a lesson you learn is like this shit's temporary.
It's temporary.
So like we gotta enjoy it while we can.
Dude, that's exactly it with, like, that's, that. And then with my leg, it's like, dude.
And then what a bad timing for the leg too. Cause it's like your motorcycle is this place of healing and like processing your life and getting better and feeling better. And like
Yeah.
after this happens with Chelsea, then you get injured.
And it was almost a year on the dot. It was like a couple weeks after her, year anniversary, I guess, that she had officially passed. Yeah, the timing was fucking wild. But dude, both, it's exactly what you just said though. Like, dude, life has never felt more precious to me. And I thank God too, like, while I was healing, met my girlfriend now, Tori, and she is just such a godsend. And I am so grateful that I met her. And like, we've, in a short amount of time, built a really special little family together. And I wouldn't, of course, I would love to run again. I wish Chelsea was able to live out the rest of her life more than anything.
Things happen the way they do.
Yeah. And then at the same time though, like, with, all that being said though, like, the way that like life is right now, I've never wanted to be alive more. I've never like cherished like my loved ones in my life more, or my animals, or just daily small stuff. Like life has never felt, more precious to me than it does now. And I know that going through that shit is part of learning that lesson. Yeah. Life is special, man. Like I didn't look at it like that for a long time. Like when I was young, I used to have this horrible habit, where I really didn't look at it like that at all. Like if I'd get challenged with stuff, I kind of had this terrible thing where I'd just be like, the attitude, like, what's the fucking point? Like this, like I had a bad attitude towards challenges as a kid. And God, I can't imagine like, genuinely having those thoughts anymore. Like, what's the point? It's like, no, dude, like we're so lucky to be here.
I mean, it's definitely like a really shitty thing that happened, but if there's like one positive thing to come from it, it's like gaining this appreciation that you have.
Absolutely. So, and if it comes to, like, we did a film while we're here that was kind of in a way for me to like honor Chelsea a little bit.
That's my favorite one you guys have done.
Thank you, man.
It's so good.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that and watching it. But in that film, a lot of it, that was a cathartic process making that film. But one of the things I really realized was just like, if you have lost somebody, I think the best thing you can do to honor them, is live well for them.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
Like
she would be pissed off at you if you were just depressed your whole life and not doing anything with your life.
Yeah.
Like she would want you to go out and thrive and
you have
find happiness. And
you have to do that for, for
otherwise
yourself.
It's a waste.
Yep.
Like,
yeah. So yeah, man, like living well, it's just, and life is precious. And
what role did the motorcycle play in this healing process?
Um, you know, I think what was really big for me, writing, of course, was a way for me to go, a little bit shut my brain off. But what really played a big role was getting to shoot our films because I'm really passionate about when we get to do our film projects with Dylan and Connor. And those experiences actually, because I was kind of just, I mean, that's my favorite thing to do in the world. When we're sitting out there in the desert, and you're just like shooting a passion project. That to me was actually, because we shot Enso shortly after she had passed, and that was really helpful. I don't want to say just like turning my brain off, but yeah, just
Gave you something else to focus on and direct your energy towards something else.
Yep.
Be creative and express something that you're trying to express. And
I remember like at one point too, I was like, dude, I probably don't have the money to do this or shouldn't, but like, I'm going to go buy a bunch of parts for my bike just to like make me feel better. And I went and bought like a full exhaust and just a bunch of other stuff. Writing was a place to, just redirect my attention. And again, that's what I was saying too, is like, if I were to give advice to anyone going through something like that, like a loss or something, or any kind of challenge, it's like, just direct your attention towards the things you love, like
towards healthy things.
Yeah, healthy things.
Because it can easily be directed towards negative things.
Yeah, dude, like I remember sitting in my truck at one point, my bike was in the back and Roman's in my front seat, and I was starting to like get swallowed up in that void thing, like I was saying. I just looked at Roman and I was like, bro, anytime this happens, I'm just going to think about you, and I'm going to think about that bike in the back, and it's like a little practice. Snap
it's
out of it.
It's incredible how much joy dogs can bring you. Like, you're just so grateful for them.
Yeah.
They're so like pure and like pure love, pure happiness.
Yep.
Like so authentic and genuine, and like they are who they are, and they depend on you to take care of them, and you depend on them for this like unconditional love that they give you. Their dogs are literally, I'm not religious, but like if there is a God, like that's the best thing he made. It's a dog.
Bro, they're the grounding force for humans, I believe.
Yeah.
Dude, they keep us like grounded to whatever's the most real in this world. I mean, like they got no ego. They love unconditionally.
So
like they don't have a facade ever.
No.
If they're joyful, it is radiating out. Yeah.
If they're scared, they're never putting on a front.
Never.
It's just like so much purity. And dude, I love dogs so much.
Dude, I would say that's like even when it comes to like, particular goals and stuff in life, dude, to me, like my favorite days are like when Tori and I get to go camp with the dogs, or just even have like a lazy day and just be with the dogs all day. To me, I love going riding and doing all that shit, but that is equally, if not better, my favorite shit to do is just be with the dogs.
It's like the same, like with me, with Paulina, like just taking the dogs for a walk is so nice.
Yeah.
Just like, I love dogs.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about the film projects. I know that's a really big part of your life, and it's like it's a really cool thing that you guys do. How did you guys get started down this path? Because I mean, our paths with this creative stuff is kind of aligned in a way, because when I first came out with the magazine, 13 years ago, you guys put out your first video project and we featured it, and it was kind of the first film project we did. It's kind of your first film project, and all these years later, you're still doing it. But how did it start? Let's talk about hydrogen water. Health and wellness have become one of my biggest passions over the last few years. I'm always searching for new ways to feel better, think clearer, and live with more energy. And one thing that stayed consistent in my routine is the Echo Hydrogen water bottle. I've been using it for a couple years now, and the new Echo flask design is so cool. It's sleek, minimal, and beautiful. It goes with me everywhere. Whether I'm getting in a workout, traveling, or just starting my day, it's become a staple in my daily ritual. And now Echo is offering my listeners a special discount on the Echo Flask. This is not your standard water bottle. It contains a high-tech electrolysis system that splits the water into hydrogen and oxygen, infusing your water with molecular hydrogen, one of the most powerful tools for health at the cellular level. Hydrogen water helps boost natural energy, improves cognitive function, and supports detoxification in a world that is filled with toxins. There are over 1,400 studies and more than 150 years of research behind hydrogen water, and yet most people still don't know about it. This isn't a fad, it's science, and it's part of how I optimize my health every single day. Head over to echowater.com/ridebeyond to learn more about the incredible benefits of hydrogen water and get your Echo Flask at a special discount. That's echowater.com/RIDEBYND.
Well, I mean, dude, first off, like, there's no way in hell we would have gotten to do all the films we've done or have any way to put it out without you guys, and like Meta and Vana, and like, dude, you guys have been such a vital, just, I don't know,
just trying to get it out there for you.
Yeah, dude, it's I can't like thank you enough for what you've done for us over the years.
Well, you're welcome. I mean,
Yeah.
don't thank me. You guys do incredible work. I'm just lucky to be able to collaborate with you guys and share it. So
It's good. It's been a good collaboration over the years. But yeah, so I'm we all grew up in Colorado. So like, I've known Dylan and his family and Connor and his family forever, since we were kids. And I know, speaking for me, dude, even as a little kid, back to even thinking about when I was saying I didn't always enjoy racing, dude, I was obsessed with movies. Like, my favorite movie in the world growing up was the original Mortal Kombat movie. That movie strangely, like, still inspires me. It holds up so well. I don't
even know if I've ever seen it.
Dude, I mean, it's from the 90s, but like, it is so fucking good. But so I was just really passionate about film and cinema forever. Same with my sister. Her and I, that was like one of the biggest things we shared, was just movies together. So I always had a passion for cinema and filmmaking, wanted to like know what it would be like to be on a movie set in some form or another, somehow, someday. And I did also, like, I could find journals from when I was a kid where I wrote like, I want to ride my dirt bike and make movies someday, just somehow blend the two.
Sick.
And then,
no way.
Yeah, it was actually during the time when I was trying to race again after quitting for a bit and stuff, being at the track, and Dylan and Connor, they were pursuing getting into like filmmaking. They were really inspired by Life Cycles. I hadn't seen the Life Cycles movie, but I had seen the trailer on YouTube, and I remember watching that trailer on repeat because like the cinematography was so sick. Like
so funny. So dude, it's so funny how this all works, because I mean, I'll take like a little bit of credit that I didn't really earn.
Oh yeah.
But like, I discovered Life Cycles, and like, they were teasing that film for like 2 years before it came out, and I was so hyped on it. And I showed my brother this thing, and then he was like stoked on it, and he shared it online. And then Dylan saw it.
No
he's
way,
like, wow.
dude.
So like, I'm gonna
cool.
say that I planted the seed.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. That's I never knew that. I'm glad I know that now.
That's so weird,
dude. Because then it just trickled.
Just these little things that how it just kind of trickles and inspires. Which, dude, how amazing to create a piece of work like that inspired so many people.
Oh, bro. I mean, dude, that was the fundamental like
action sports
building
like,
block.
That and like Art of Flight, but like those two films like changed this formula from like crusty and terra firma to now it's like real filmmaking.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And like, I really respect and appreciate both sides of that. Like, I love seeing like the way that cinematography in action sports is getting, how it's evolving. It's so fucking cool. And then I can still like really appreciate a dope ass fucking like crusty vibe.
Dude, I interviewed Seth Enslow a couple of weeks ago.
Sick, dude.
And it got me thinking. Cool. I was like,
what a legend.
I was like, dude, I want Aaron and Dylan to do like a crusty style film, but like filmed beautifully. So like beautiful cinematography, but like punk rock, fast, high energy, just sick, old school
Yeah.
moto edit, but like aesthetic.
Good. We
You should
have
do that.
We have talked about that. We should try to do that someday. I would be fucking all about it. Get a sick group together. We have like talked about like doing like a kind of more OG proper type of moto
Axel
park.
Hodges did one kind of like, but it's a monster thing, and it's going to be that monster energy vibe. Like no
Well,
diss. He's sick.
What one was it?
I think it was Deserted.
Dude,
2.
that Deserted 2, the
Insane. The writing was
hitting in that.
dude, it was insane.
Fuck, bro. Yeah.
I'm not dissing it.
Yeah.
It's sick. But like, you know, they have the monster chicks. It's like,
Yeah.
it's a monster thing.
Yeah.
But like doing something proper without like the cheese ball
Agreed.
stuff added in.
Yeah.
And like, even, you know, they got some good shots. It was mostly the writing that was impressive. But like you guys like shooting it like just unbelievably beautiful cinematography, but like Crusty Demon's influence would be so sick.
Oh, that's a good seed. That's a cool seed that's planted.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should all team up and try to do something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking dope.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. But to finish off the filming story real quick though, we so either way, it was just a local race, and Dylan and Connor just came up to me actually asking about wanting to do like a piece. They were wanting to explore, you know, they got, I don't know what kind of camera they got at that time, a pretty badass camera.
So Dylan was getting serious about learning to be a filmmaker.
Yep. And I was just all about it. I was like, yes, dude, I hope all in, let's do it. And then just, we spent time together. We did that first film, the McClintock project. And like, as we spent time together and realized we had similar outlooks on it of just,
dude, they came to you because you have really good style and you like rip on a bike. So they're probably like, he's a good subject.
Yeah.
Maybe not knowing that you also have this creative engine too. And like, you want to collaborate creatively and you have.
Yeah. It was a match made in heaven for sure. Like, because especially once, you know, the three of us started talking about our like kind of philosophical ideas and same thing, be inspired by the same films, Life Cycles and Art of Flight and all that stuff. We're like, dude, it'd be so fucking cool to like apply this kind of filmmaking to writing. And then just one thing led to another, and we were able to just every few years or so often, we'd all take what we had at the time financially and ask for some favors and go do what we can. Do a pro trip.
Hit the road with the boys and make something cool.
Yeah. And it's cool though, when we do go film, we are, and I know you're the same. We're up at fucking 4:30, 5 a.m.
chasing light.
Yeah. We are like, you know, we're on it. Like, it's like we have fun, but at the same time, it's fucking work. Like, yeah, you know, making films, dude. That's
freezing cold in the morning, waking up at the butt crack of dawn, shooting till dark. Like,
or just hitting like the same feature over and over again, trying
Dylan's
to figure
climbing
it out.
Up mountains with his camera gear and like all kinds of crazies. It's not easy.
It is not easy. But then, I mean, at the end of the trip and you're looking back and having a cheers or something, it's just like, dude, that was so fucking awesome. Like,
such a good feeling at the end of the shoot when you know you got it and you're like, all the work's done, the pressure's off.
Yeah. And it's also, it's like, dude, even if the film, like, you know, doesn't come out how we hoped or whatever, it's like, dude, we gave our fucking like asses into this. That was so fun. Doesn't even matter. That it's about the journey, kind of that whole like philosophy. Like it is. Yeah.
I love it. It's a good creative outlet for you guys. And I love that they're not only like beautifully captured, but you guys really explore more like existential, meaningful topics through these different projects. Why do you think motorcycles are such a powerful metaphor for these things?
Oh man. Dude, it's so strange because that idea of like the way that we've been doing these films for over 10 years now. And the idea of like how I experience riding or think that, what it does for us or whatever just has evolved so much over the years. But you know, one of my favorite things that I sometimes like I have to go back and rewatch it still because it hits me a little bit. But there's this line in our film, Drifting Up, that we shot in.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, there's this one line that I say where I'm like,
damn,
that was cool. But I just say like, I know if it wasn't for riding, you know, I would know myself a lot less. Like, you know, the depth or my relationship with me would probably be, a bit more shallow if it wasn't for the role that writing has played in my life. Like, it's been this crazy just area of life, or probably the biggest area of life, where I've been able to deepen and learn, get to know myself and build a relationship with me.
Like you said at the very beginning, it's like it's not the thing that gives you happiness, but it's like a vessel to like find that within yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's like this is a thing where your happiness, or, whatever is in you, can move through, I feel like you could see it. Like, if someone's riding with angst, it's physically, you can literally see it. I can feel it if I'm riding with angst or something. And so it's also this cool way too, where it's like a compass, where I could like get on the bike and be like, dude, fuck, like, why this doesn't feel right? Something's off. And then sit there and like look inward and be like, all right, dude, this isn't like, the bike's not doing this to me. The bike's the same as it was yesterday. Like, when I was feeling great or something, like, no, you need to like figure something out or something, you know what I mean? Like, redirect. So it's a cool like indicator too, where you can just, like a compass of, to look at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do these projects mean to you? I know it's a pretty important thing in your life.
Oh, dude, I have so much like just passion, towards these film projects. I would say the first thing in my life really too, that I felt like some kind of a purpose. And not that it's like, it was feeling like, oh, I have we have some job to like offer something, like, didn't feel in that way. I just felt like some sense of purpose doing it. And it's also provided me so much motivation to like take care of myself, to show up every day. And then we, the three of us too, have always just also had this kind of philosophy, the same way that life cycles inspired us. It's like, dude, well, we're doing all this, personal kind of growth of, embarking on the journey of these projects. If one person maybe felt the way that like we felt watching life cycles, just even if one person felt inspired to like, shit, dude, I'm going to go ride tomorrow. Like, I'm going to go, or if I want to go embark on a project, I'm going to go take a step towards that. Just take a different step towards something that you maybe enjoy.
Dude, I guarantee you there's up and coming kids that have like seen one of your films who has like changed the direction of their life. Like maybe they went to film school, or they decided like, or I want to learn how to ride, or like, it's probably a lot of people, but I mean, guaranteed you've influenced people in a very positive way, which is really cool.
Thanks for saying that, man. I hope so. I do. Dude, same with you, bro.
Thanks.
Dude, what you've offered the world and in this industry is like, you're one of the most inspiring people that I know, hands down. Like, I'm not even joking. I felt that way a long time too.
No way.
Yeah.
That means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's kind of my goal with this, is like, I want to meet up with all the people who inspire me, and the most interesting people in the world, whether they're a famous person or just a normal dude, like people who have lived extraordinary lives and have interesting perspectives and thoughts, and like maybe extract some wisdom from them that we can provide to people to live a better life. Like,
I love it, dude.
Yeah, it's cool.
And you're doing it.
Thanks,
like,
man.
Dude, already the episodes that have come out, man, like I've been moved by.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good.
And like I've told you,
I hope it provides value for people. I hope it's entertaining, for one. I hope there's some good stories. I hope people like it because they're into moto and they can talk about moto. But then there's like deeper lessons that we can take away.
Yeah.
Like how to just live better, be better.
Well, and like you said, kind of like just leading off with this, it's a great reason and opportunity for us as homies to catch up.
Yeah.
But then with this platform, it also is you know, a way or kind of, a way to go deeper too.
Mhm.
Like not just catch up on the surface. It's like, dude, no, let's talk. Like, let's talk about some real shit.
Yeah. I always say it would be really awkward to like just hit you up and be like, "Hey, we need to meet up for 2 hours and talk about
Yeah.
the deepest things possible."
Yeah.
If you're like,
I
"What?"
would still enjoy it though.
Yeah, I would too, but like
Yeah, it would be,
this feels a little bit more like there's a reason to do it and
because it's going to be shared.
it's gonna be
Yeah,
shared and maybe like
absolutely.
provide value to someone else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking, I love it, man. I'm so
Thanks.
like amped that you're doing
Thanks.
this. And like,
Hope I can make it work long term and just like
yeah,
keep on building from here. You know, this is the very beginning, but
yeah,
like I have a good feeling about it.
I do too, man. The second you put something out about the Ride Beyond and the podcast, I think we were messaging on Instagram or something, but I was just like, dude, I immediately had such good feeling. I was like, dude, fuck yeah. Like if someone's going to do this, you know, cause you're like one of the like most, a very insightful, like deep person. And then you're also at the same time, like so knowledgeable. You're such a good writer. You like know so much about the industry. I was like, dude, if someone's going to do this and tap into, like you're saying, cool stories or, hopefully meaningful stuff.
Like there's people doing really good moto podcasts already.
Yeah.
But I just want to take a different spin on it,
Yeah.
talk about life. The motorcycle is like an excuse for us to talk and relate and like this thing that can give us perspective and lessons on life, but it's really about the deeper stories beyond that and people's experiences. And that's what I want to dive into.
You're the person to do it, man.
It's been good to dive into yours
Yeah.
too, dude, man. You're a really cool guy outside looking in and you're a really great friend and I love you. And I think you're just so cool. And it's been a pleasure being your friend. And I guess before we wrap up, I want to ask, what do you hope your story says to others? Like through the loss, through the good times, what can people learn from your life?
Dude, I have personally had a life of like, I don't know if this is gonna be a weird answer or not, but like a lot of, kind of like beating myself up. Like I've really like added, even as a kid and even with my OCD or something. And then as an adult where, really became a parent of going through some real challenges, like real crazy situations, loss, injury, whatever it is. If I were to like say to anything is just like, go easy on yourself. Like, yeah, just be good to yourself, man. Like, because like that's really like what you have to offer the world is you. Like, and I also kind of have this philosophy is like, you can go out and do a lot of good in the world. You can go change the world, like go out and do it. But I think the biggest impact you'll have on people is you taking care of you, being good to you. And so then, the version of you that's out and about walking around, that has an impact on people, dude. Even if just if you're in a good mood, cause you're taking care of yourself mentally or being good to yourself and you smile at someone or
That's
it sounds kind of
infectious.
cheesy, but like, dude, you're walking around as like a, like a white blood cell,
Cool
like people have done that to me where they, I might be in a funk or something and someone just the kindest gesture
it's like,
will be like, it's man, like, and it totally turn you around. So
it kind of goes both ways. You can, if you're a stick in the mud, man, you're going to bring people down.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, and to me, I think where that starts, if you, if you want to be like, like a blessing, instead of a burden in this world, I think it starts with being kind to yourself, like it starts with you and what you have to offer the world is you. So I would just, if I were to leave one thing that I feel like I've had to like learn the hard way with me and I'm still learning every day, like, and with that, but, dude, I'm trying to be like kinder to myself in every way.
At the end of the day, we're all just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like everyone who you think has their life together, We're just trying to figure it out,
We're
man.
just trying to figure it out,
So-
dude. Yeah, like
Got to be patient with yourself and
yeah,
learn from your mistakes. Take them as a lesson, and
yeah.
don't punish yourself. And
Don't punish yourself. Like
and move on.
absolutely.
But beautiful. I
Yeah.
appreciate you, brother.
Love you, dog.
That was a good conversation.
That was great. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, man.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to it, and yeah, I've really enjoyed it, man.
Cheers, dude.
Yeah, cheers,
yeah.
brother.
I want to tell you about an apparel brand that's changing the game. In a world full of fast fashion and forgettable trends, with no regard for quality or integrity, it's rare to find a brand that actually stands for something. Foreign Rider is one of those brands, and it's my absolute favorite apparel company for a reason. Founded by my friend Ralph Dunning, a pioneer in performance wear with over 30 years of experience, Foreign Rider blends timeless design with technical precision. Ralph built this brand for people like us, riders, explorers, creators, people who live active lives and need gear they can keep up. Every piece is made with ethics, intention, and excellence. There's no shortcuts, just clean, functional design built to last. Ralph has literally traveled to the ends of the earth to source the finest performance materials on the planet. There's a reason I wear their products almost every day. The fit, the feel, the quality, it's on another level. Foreign Rider's not just clothing, it's a mindset, a reminder to live with intention, to choose quality over quantity, and the exploration of freedom. Check out the full collection at foreignrider.com. I promise, once you wear it, there's no going back.